it's a simple tool. It's not rocket science. It helps you with the UTM. Uh, Helps you with everything basically you need to track in order to know what you are doing.
Yep, pretty much.
So why is important to track everything you can track and organize it in a matter that can give you a holistic approach?
I actually disagree with that. Quite kindly disagree with the point of that you shouldn't, just because you can track something doesn't mean you should. And I think a lot of people go wrong with that. Like, you could track every minute detail of someone's interaction with your website, but is it going to help you make a decision? Yes or no? And if it's not, do you need to track it? So for me, that whole approach, I don't know if this answers your question or not.
No.
But the whole approach is really all about, like, what does the business need to know? Like, what do I need to know in my job? How do I make decisions? And what do I need to track to help me make those decisions?
I think we came to a moment and to a point we are like some data hoarders. We just
hoarders.
What are we doing? I don't know. We are just like squirrels.
Yeah. And then you get into a
hiding
mess.
data.
But like, I've seen Google Analytics accounts, for example, of properties. It's like, what? There's so much stuff in there. There's loads of goals. There's loads of events. And there's two problems with that. One is it makes it harder to find the information you need. And quite often you ask people, like, why are you tracking that? Well, no. It was put in there years ago. We're tracking it because it's there.
Everybody does it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But so it makes it harder to get to where you need. And it also opens up room for human error. So if you're implementing loads of different events just because you can, you've then got a real potential for messing up your bounce rate, for example, just by misconfiguring stuff. So I'm not lazy, but I always feel like the approach to anything really is, what's the simplest way I can do this to achieve the goal that I need? And if you start there, it's always going to be the cleanest approach, in my opinion.
I think data should be summarized in a way that is very simple for me to track it from my phone while waiting for a coffee.
Yeah.
It's that simple it should be.
Yeah, and you can reformat stuff as well, right? Because, again, you might want to quickly check on your phone how I think, yep, great, perfect. Your boss might need to see it in a different format. And then the team on the ground, they might need a lot more data to make... So, yes, I think it's not just what data you collect, it's how you present it and format it for different people based on what they need to know.
Do you think we are missing the point just by collecting data? And I'm referring here at the small events, the small data, like Martin Lindstrom says in his book, Small Data. I think there's the value.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think you can go over the top sometimes, and it just comes back to what data do you need, And if you do need lots of micro data, lots of micro conversions, sure, but not everyone does, and sometimes it can.
Can you spot trends in small data? Can you spot trends that are gonna be hype in, I don't know, a slight amount of time?
Yeah, well, as in, how do you mean trends? Do you mean if we're like analyzing performance?
Yep.
Or? Yeah, I think it. Yeah, if you just need the data points that you need to make informed decisions. So with e-commerce, it's what products are being added to the cart, what's the conversion rate from that product detail page to a conversion versus that one. Why is that? Is it the images? Are people scrolling down the page? And all of those data points can really tell you a story about what's happening and what you might need to go and do to fix that. So I think you have to reverse engineer back from what you need to know.
As an owner,
yeah.
What should I?
As a business owner.
As a business owner,
Yep.
What should I look into? Tag manager to understand. I don't need big amount of data.
Yeah.
I just need to understand what's there. What
Yep.
should I look for?
Yeah. So I think first off, it's what are your key business goals? And do you have robust conversions set up to track those? If not, that's a great starting point. What platforms are you advertising on? Where are you spending heavily? Where are your focuses? And that will give you a good steer. Also, what does your team need to know? And this will all kind of start to push you towards the right point. As an agency owner, so not like a brand owner, but an agency owner, like I really encourage our team to get to know Tag Manager, because I think if we're all accountable for a set of numbers, understanding at least at a basic level the mechanics behind how those numbers appear is really important context. So that's a different angle on it, but it's for them, I feel it's really important that they know, well, if I'm accountable for revenue, how does that number get into analytics? And then they can start to look at the numbers critically and debug them and check them. And I think if you're responsible for a number, you should know even a little bit just how that number appears.
Can you list some resources where everyone who's looking now can get their information about tagging?
Yeah, tag, you're it. So there's loads out there. I think some of the best are, there's a guy in Finland called Simo Ahava. He is just absolute tag manager legend. So if you need anything technical or anything really,
tag him.
I mean, he's a legend, right? Go and read his blog. There's another really good blog called Analytics Mania, which is always really good and up to date in terms of tag manager and analytics. We've got a weekly marketing podcast as well called the Marketing Freaks Podcast, and we talk about stuff like tag manager and tracking on that as well. So check that out too. And I think start with those and you'll see where you go.
Yeah, I think that's enough for them, and it's enough for me.
Cheers.
Good luck with your presence on the stage.
Thank you.